Hello, hello, hello. This is Ash with another episode of E-Wasted. And anyways, let's get this show rolling here. Yes, we're talking about this tragic thing here. It's this white case. You look at it like, oh my goodness, what happened to you? Who the heck office spaced you? Someone took you out into a middle of field and freaking worked you over with some baseball bats or something. Something happened to this case. Maybe someone tied it to a rope and took it hooky bobbing. I don't know. I don't know. It's something happened. Something tragic. It's a maybe some kids got it and were playing street hockey with it. Yeah, I really don't know what happened to this thing. But anyways, that was the main goal here was to get this cheap PC into another cheap PC case that had gotten a previous episode. I talked about it. I got like a AM4 brand new full ATX motherboard in here that was, this case was kind of underwhelming for that, but it was a definite upgrade from this here. And also, we upgraded the inside a little bit too. It had the lovely i5-2400 in there, 3.1 gigahertz and 3.4 gigahertz turbo, 4 cores and 4 threads, with a multi-thread rating of 3870 and a single thread rating of 1578. And what could we upgrade this to? I mean, you're talking about a really cheap beat up system. Is it worth spending $30 on an old second gen i7? No, it's not. Let's be real here. So, what we got was this Xeon E3-1230 specimen, which we will go over the price of it later. But, same socket, LGA 1155, LGA 1155 here. Yep, good to go. Ooh, it's one higher gigahertz in the clock speeds for the right out of the gate. 3.2 instead of 3.1 with 3.6 instead of 3.4 for turbo speed. So already doing better there. And 4 cores and 8 threads. Yep. But how much juice does that suck down in comparison? 80 watts versus, yeah, the i5-2400 actually consumes more power. That doesn't make any sense, really. I guess it does have integrated graphics, so maybe that's where all the extra power goes to. But yeah, the multi-thread rating, yeah, from 3800 to 5100, it's not quite double, yeah. But it's definitely better. Definitely better. Just, maybe an extra 100 on the single thread, but, still an improvement. But we look at how much we paid for this thing, a little over, $10.99 plus tax and everything, $12.01. Which, I mean, in years past, I would have probably got the E3-1240 or 1245 or 1270 or 1275, and it would have been right around the same price. During a certain stretch of time there. But you know, things just get older and unavailable, and suddenly they become more expensive. So it's like you're gonna pay about $20 or more for some of those higher end the first gen of these Xeon E3 series, which is same as the second gen of the I series, like the 2400 that we upgraded from. But yeah, and beyond the CPU, there was also a graphics card upgrade going on. And we look at what did we have for that graphics card? What was in there? It was a GTX 962 gigabyte. So I'm not even sure if it was an upgrade technically. I mean, a few years ago, I would have said yes, but just looking at how the 7000 series handles modern games, yeah, it's though the Passmark says it's more powerful, which it is. I mean, it definitely uses more power, 250 watts versus 120 watts. But as far as performance, and I think the only thing I really tried on it was like Fortnite. I was definitely noticing the difference in the architecture versus the 9000 series, which handles things a little bit better. It's, definitely a little more fluent with what's going on right now. But I think we can kind of see it, our beautiful giant 780 in this side view here. And you can look at that. It's still not pretty, but it's not that ugly, is it? I mean, nope, not that ugly. So we're on to the second segment of our video here. And yeah, we gotta crank up the speed even more, because this one I forgot to turn it to like the hyper speed. It's just recording at regular speed, so man, it looks like I'm going slow as I guess usual, you might say. There we go. Get that thing a rolling there. And what else can we talk about here? And we can talk about the GTX 780 and why did I even buy that thing? To be honest, it's because I'd never really bought one before. I was just kind of curious about it. Hey, it's 18 bucks. I mean, what could go wrong? 18 bucks and then 7 bucks in shipping, and then by the time they throw tax in, you're paying almost 30 bucks. But it's like, hey, what could really go wrong here? Just try this thing out. Maybe it'll work for a budget build. And I think it did. I think it's maybe there's got to be some people out there that only want to play some older games, or want that extra gigabyte of VRAM for some older titles that the 780 still will do fine on. But yeah, I mean, let me see, what else can we talk about here? So yeah, we talked about our CPU. I guess we didn't talk about the performance so much. We got 7990 on the 780, and we got 6105. So it's it benchmarks higher at this benchmark. But as far as gaming, I mean, I don't know exactly what we're gonna see there. But yeah, we'll get back to talking about the build here. The build, I mean. Yeah, let's see. We'll switch back to that view. So what am I doing in there? Yeah, looks like I'm getting prepped to slap the graphic card or something in there. I think I finally got all my cable routing done. Yeah, it's getting close to completion there. Let's see, maybe we'll even turn it to... Yeah, it'll finish up pretty soon. Here, I got the power supply in. I've got the CPU done. I've got memory in. The memory is already there. Just got to get that graphic card. I think that one of the main issues I had with this case is that it's so old that it was only set up for 80mm fans. So, like, I had one new 80mm fan lying around that I put in the back. But in the front, like, I pretty much had to use zip ties and kind of go rogue on where some of the holes were to get them secured. It's it's not the best situation, but it's better than 80mm fans, I think. Plus, I didn't really want to spend any more money to order even more 80mm fans to put in here. It's like, yeah, I'll just zip tie some of these new 120mm that I had out of once I put the flashy fans with lights and a couple other systems that I took them out of. It seemed to be a good fit there, but yeah. So we'll go back, and I think we're about done talking about this thing, About done talking about this system right there. I mean, what we call this is the lipstick on a pig, like, okay, we got that. So, both sides, it looks pretty beat to shit there. From the back, you can really see the ripple and the side panel and stuff. So I'd say, all in all, definite improvement in aesthetics and performance when we look at the CPU. And I don't know, kind of a coin toss for the GPU, but I think it fits. I think if, at least you get that extra gig of VRAM, right? Yeah. But anyways, that is all for this episode, and we will talk to you folks next time. Adios.